You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Welcome everyone to Advance Rhode Island. I'm Dan McKee. I'm the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Rhode Island, and each month we come up with a show that's about either business in the state, small business in the state of Rhode Island, or education, or municipal affairs. But today we're talking about entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs. And you can see I'm wearing this tie here today. I normally wear my state of Rhode Island tie, because we got our theme of the office, RI 39. We're in 39 cities and towns every day. Today I got a bow tie on. I'm going to tell you why. Do I look good? I think I look pretty good, guys. So today what we're doing is we're talking to entrepreneurs that are high school students in the state of Rhode Island. And I know that there's people in every community in the state of Rhode Island, high school students that are doing some business. So we have two high school entrepreneurs, and my friend Chris Lally, who's from Cumberland, who was a high school entrepreneur when he was in high school. Now he's going to a sophomore year at Babson, right, Chris? So what I want, Keegan, I want you to just introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you go to school, and a little bit about the business that you set up and why you set it up. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
This is good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting
Yes.
me. I run a business called Keegan Creatures. We create art primarily in the form of t-shirts, such as the one I'm wearing right now.
Looks good.
Thank you. I'm an artist, and I really enjoy making art, printmaking, hence my hand-printed shirts. So it felt natural to turn my art into a business also. I go to school at the Met High School in Providence and work a lot in the Met Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which is also known as the E-Center, and has really helped me with my business.
Yeah, so that's great. Thank you for being here. We're going to get back to get a little more detail of how you do that artwork and how you're marketing your t-shirts and some of your short-term and long-term type of ambitions. Chris, we met when you were a junior in high school. Yep. I just had been elected lieutenant governor, and I was just very, very excited and impressed, quite frankly, when you started talking about entrepreneurship and what you were doing at the time. So give the people just a little background of what we spoke about when we met when you were a junior and senior in high school.
Cool. First, thanks for having us. This
Yes.
is awesome. I met you after I met the treasurer, I believe, Treasurer Magaziner. And back in high school, my freshman year, I was running a landscaping company, and then I ran that all through high school. Sophomore year, I started a donut delivery service, and then throughout the process, I was selling on Craigslist, eBay, and my websites, and then I ended up importing from China in my junior year. So we talked a lot about that.
And what were you importing at the time?
That time, I was importing LED light bulbs and seat cushions.
Yes.
So
unbelievable. Tell us a little bit about the donut delivery system that you had in terms, and it was at a vacation home, right?
It was in Connecticut in a neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a local bakery, and there are ladies there that they're amazing. And I actually ended up making a deal with them, and then I talked to some of the local people, knocked on doors, handed out business cards, and then I set up a website for people to order donuts online. And then in the mornings, they would have warm donuts on their doorstep because I would deliver them, and I just charged a little service fee and did it on the mornings all summer, and then I had an awesome time with it. It was really successful, and a few people are still doing it now, and that was amazing.
Yeah, so I think when I did speak to you, that really kind of a light lit. Sometimes that moment where something just lights and you say, geez, how did I miss that? That the young people are very entrepreneurial in the state of Rhode Island, and they're innovative and creative, and they're doing things that are outstanding, right?
Yeah, before we can even drive, too, because I was pulling them on a wagon with my bike.
Pulling them on a wagon, and the
That's
same
all
thing
you
when
need.
you had the little, not little, but landscaping business where you had several accounts, and you were figuring out how to do that work, and the book work you've explained to me, and you were doing bookkeeping and everything else that involves a regular small business.
And a whole team and everything, managing everything start to finish.
Well, I can't wait. We're going to hear about a year and a half later, and then your experiences at Babson College, and what a great example for all our young people out there that this leads to really interesting, a very interesting life and a lot of networking at a very young age, right?
For sure.
So we'll get back to Sam. All right, so this is why I got the tie in. Sam does bow ties, and we're going to hear a little bit about that. And I actually do need one for my tux because I have a long tie for my tux, but I'm thinking that this could be a good color for the tux that I have at home. What do you think, Sam?
Oh, definitely.
You
You
think
look very
so?
spiffy.
I do spiffy. Okay, I want to look spiffy. All right, anyways, tell us about yourself, where you live, and the high school, and the reason that you started this great business, and to make guys like me look spiffy, which is a challenge. Go ahead.
Well, I go to school in Natick, Massachusetts at Walnut Hill School for the Arts.
Yeah.
And I'm a musical theater major there. And I live in Smithfield.
Yes.
And, before I went to this wonderful high school, I went to a high school where I was bullied a lot.
Yeah.
And I decided...
That's no fun, right?
No, not at all.
No,
Not
we don't
at all.
want to recommend that as a steady diet, right? to
Exactly.
anybody.
No,
Yes. Go ahead.
it's terrible.
Yes.
But I decided to put all my frustration of that and just, all that into something more positive, and I made bow ties, and they were born, and I'm in 3 stores now. So
3. That's
three,
great.
yep, in
All
Rhode
right,
Island.
well, that's wonderful. We're going to get back to kind of the detail of what you're doing, how you're marketing. It looks like you
Yeah.
made a sale today.
I did, yeah.
I think you did. It's just a matter of whether I like this color. What do you think? Anyways, we'll figure that out. All right, Keegan, give us a little bit more detail about how you're doing the art, how you're developing the T-shirts. What in terms of how you're going to market them, and how you're taking them from your idea and your concept to actually a T-shirt like you're wearing today.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I print all my shirts at AS220 and New Urban Arts, which are 2 amazing arts organizations in Providence that provide studio space and resources to artists. All my designs are hand-drawn and then hand-printed by me. They're all original designs. And yeah, it's really just fueled by me wanting to make art and get it out to people who will enjoy it as a part of their fashionable wardrobe. I sell my work at different art selling events around Providence. Providence has a great scene of artists who are out selling and making awesome artwork, and I'm very happy to be a part of that scene. And in the future, I hope to sell to more stores, expand across America and into more stores that are non-local and sell at more non-local selling events.
Well, we're going to get your information, how people can contact you, especially if they're a student and they want to get involved in this type of business, or they want to have you at their fairs or in wherever you can kind of market, or in the stores or wherever it might be. One of the things that we've been doing, Keegan, is our theme to our office is RI39. There's 39 cities and towns in the state of Rhode Island. And we think each and every one is important, and we should be in every single community because a business in any community is important. That jobs that they provide, the economy, and that creative spirit that goes along with that. So one of the tours we're going to have, and we're going to have to get some advice from you, is we're just ending a tour of farms right now, and we're going to do a TV show on that 39 tour. I think I got my last 2 visits, one in Wesley and one in Charlestown tomorrow. And we're going to do one, though, in the first quarter next year with the art community. Art businesses.
That'd be amazing.
All right, so we're going to do art businesses, and we're going to go to every community with the municipal leaders invited, the state leaders, and talk to the art community. So you're going to have to give me a couple businesses that you think would be a good place for you, and we'll have you come along.
I have
think that's a good
plenty of
idea?
recommendations.
You think it's a good idea? Yeah. So we'll do
Absolutely.
that. Chris, tell us about your experience at Babson now. You took your donut delivery, right? You took, I thought it was pillows from
Selling
China.
seat cushions, yeah.
Seat cushions, right? Seat cushions from China, learning all the import strategies, right? And then you had your landscaping. And now you've kind of, matured from there, right? And now you have an experience at Babson College that you've explained to me is extraordinary. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Babson's a school I found my junior year, and after that I went many, many times actually in high school, and it's been a really humbling experience, to be honest, because a lot of people there are starting companies or involved with companies that are really amazing, and the professors, the network of professors and the network of alumni is out of this world. They want to help you so much, and a lot of the students around you are as well are running their own companies and learning about what they're doing, the strategies that they're implementing to actually make themselves successful. It's surrounded by you, so I wouldn't want to be anywhere else at this point.
And you jumped right in, right?
I did.
Yes.
I actually knew some Rhode Islanders. I met with every alumni in Rhode Island that was running a company from Babson the summer before I went to the school, and right away I got an internship because one of those alumni got a deal with Babson the first time, so that was amazing. And the Rhode Island connections associated with Babson have been really cool too, and just everything's just been really impressive, and I can't wait to spend the next 3 years there.
Yeah, tell us one of the businesses that you're working with and how that's brought you to different conferences and meeting, adult entrepreneurs, or adult, but they're young entrepreneurs, right?
Absolutely. So I do work with a few companies at Babson right now. One of them is ThinkBoard, which I've been working with for all semester, actually the past 2 semesters. It's a film that turns any surface into a whiteboard, and what we've actually been doing is putting them in high school districts, elementary schools, as well as colleges, offices, and it's really been amazing because it's a long-lasting film. It lasts longer than most products on the market, actually almost all of them, and it's really cheap to put up comparatively, especially because it lasts longer. It's got anti-graffiti properties, so it's really an amazing product itself. But the company within the culture, there's a sophomore he was a sophomore, the CEO, at Babson when he started it 3 years ago. And now he and another recent graduate of Babson are still running it, and there's two of us that are still at Babson working with him. I'm doing more sales with that, but just being part of that individual company has brought me to many conferences in Boston and the local area. We've
got you on stage on one of them, right?
It did. One of them in the Boston Convention Center, 19,000 people. Gary Vaynerchuk pulled us on stage just from seeing us in the audience, really saw our passion, and he was like, some free advertising stand behind me. He was probably getting paid like $500,000 or something just to be up there, but we stood right behind him for probably 20 minutes of that. And that was an amazing experience. And then meeting many successful CEOs of North Face, of Life Proof, of amazing companies like CrossFit, and then also meeting editors of magazines like the chief editor of Entrepreneur Magazine and Forbes, went to Forbes 30 Under 30, just the list probably goes on. But yeah, the experience with working with just that company and other companies at Babson's been really amazing.
Yeah, it's got to be motivating to both Keegan and Sam to hear that story, and that's why we wanted you here. But before I get to Sam, I want to go back to Keegan. You were at Babson College, right?
Yeah.
And you just received an award. Tell us about that award. I think it was an Ernst & Young Entrepreneurship Award, but you know the actual, I think I got it here somewhere, Young Entrepreneur, right, of the Year. Tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. At the Met, at the E-Center specifically, at the Met, I took a class called E360, which taught me everything I had to know about running a business, organizing money, marketing, everything along those lines. And we are able to create our own business plan and then bring it to these competitions where we compete, and there's a possibility of being funded or getting some new opportunities. And at the regionals competition at Babson, I was lucky enough to win and move on to nationals, which I am very excited for.
And when's that going to be, and where is it going to be?
October in New York.
Oh, you're going to let me know how you make out there, right?
Absolutely.
And if you need any letter from the state down there to help you along, you're going to ask me for that, right?
Yes,
okay, that's
thank
great.
you.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Sam, tell us a little bit about, you got motivation. You told us the motivation for doing this, and now you're moving along. I saw a whole show us your display there. You came with a display.
I did.
Hopefully we can kind of get an idea of some of the art that you're providing on the bow ties, right?
Yes.
I know. We had a business here on the incubators, and their theme actually they wore red bow ties for all their staff. I'm going to make sure you get connected, because wouldn't it be gracious if they bought the red the bow ties from you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's great. Huh?
Yeah. So I have a few different designs.
Yeah.
And I have the pre-tied ones, which is the one you're wearing and I'm wearing.
Okay.
That's the pre-tied, and I think I have. Did I bring one with me? Yes. And these are my self-tie ones.
Okay. You don't want to give me one of those. I might have a little trouble with that. So tell us about your marketing strategy, and you're thinking about how you're going to get this business off the ground that you've started very creatively, and tell us a little bit about that, Sam.
Well, I donate a portion of my sales
Okay.
to Rachel's Challenge.
Tell us what Rachel's Challenge is.
Rachel's Challenge is an anti-bullying organization that was created by Rachel Scott, who was the first to be killed in the Columbine shooting in Colorado. And she just had great ways of life and how to live them and being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important too. I think that's
Absolutely. I think that's part of the social
Yeah.
entrepreneurship that is happening in your generation and the younger entrepreneurs out there. I was talking earlier about the Ivriella that we visited this down in Westerly, and their niche was the elephant,
Yeah.
and they have donated to causes that protect the elephants and protects their keeping them alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so your idea is the Rachel's Challenge.
Yes.
And that's going to go. So when I pay you for my bow tie before we leave today, you're going to give a percentage of that to that effort.
Yes.
Beautiful. So that's good. That's social entrepreneurship at its best.
Yes.
And then just tell us a little bit of how you're going to market, how you're going to do this.
Well,
I have
a Facebook page.
Yes.
So if you ever want a bow tie,
We're going to put that's when we're going to when we
No.
go and edit this, we're going to show the Facebook page right in front of you.
Great.
All right.
And so that's how I got a few of my sales. And
Yeah.
I'm in 3 stores, like I said. And Imagine in Warren is my biggest seller, and a lot of.
Where's that?
In Warren,
Warren,
Imagine,
okay.
yeah.
Imagine, okay.
Yep, and I'm also in the Sea Star in Bristol and Traveling Gypsy in Narragansett.
Wow. So you've been doing your work. Tell us a little bit how you're able to make those contacts.
Imagine that was my first store, and I went in there. I've always been in there, and I just decided, what, they could use a bow tie in there, and so I went into the store and I showed them what I had, and they really liked it, and so I think
that's sales 101, right?
Yeah.
you recognize a need and you're going to fill that need, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful. So that's how you did it, and you met with the manager or the owner? Or?
Yeah, I met with the owner and the manager. Yeah.
And they thought that was a good idea?
They did, yeah, and that's how I did it with the other stores.
Yeah,
as
well, these are very, like you say, I'm looking very spiffy, and
Very
there's a lot of
spiffy.
people out want to look spiffy, so there's going to be a number of people who are going to want that. So that's are you looking to expand that in terms of because right now let's set this up. You're going to be a junior next year in high
Yes.
school, right? So you're 15 on your way to 16,
Yep.
correct? So you've got a long time to grow here. So I'm not saying that you're going to be this Fortune 500 company tomorrow, but you're going to want to have some level of growth, and you're going to
Yes.
want to do what Chris has done, right?
Yeah.
You're going to want to use this as a path into another entrepreneurial strategy for yourself, right?
Well, my biggest goal is to get into other stores, more stores in Rhode Island, and expand into. My biggest goal is New York City. Into
New York City, okay.
into a shop in New York City. That would be my goal.
So anybody that's out there who's got the connections into New York City and you want to help out a young entrepreneur, let's make that a connection. You can give our office a call, or we'll figure out a way for you to contact Sam. All right, so that's great. So we're going to keep on going here, but I want to get into a little bit more about the question that we normally ask. We always ask, who are you? We got that.
Yep.
What do you do? We got that. But now it's, how's it going, and how can people help young entrepreneurs like yourself to get into a business and to have the support that you need? Tell us a little bit about maybe what's helping you right now, and then Keegan, something that maybe even you can think about it, because we'll have a little time, about what should come next. Go ahead, give us a little idea of what's been helping you.
Absolutely. My high school, the Met, has been really amazing in terms of giving me the resources, the time, the education I need to improve my business. And more so on the art side of it, for me as an artist and someone whose business essentially is art, I've found really great art communities within places like New Urban Arts, a great studio for youth artists, and AS220, another really great arts organization.
I visited there. That's quite a facility.
Yeah.
Very diverse, right? A number of different
Absolutely.
pockets of art. It's got theater there. It's got a restaurant there, right? There's a number of
Yeah.
things that help people along.
So I think really helping support the organizations like the E-Center, E360, NIFTY, another youth course for entrepreneurs, is really essential to giving youth the resources to become entrepreneurs. And then, of course, arts funding is so important in terms of building culture, community, and creating amazing artists.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And one of the things that I did as a mayor of town of Cumberland for 12 years, and we started the youth commission primarily on leadership issues, right? But I think I can see this as a potential as we get more and more mayors, youth commissions in the state of Rhode Island. I can see this starting to be a piece of that, this entrepreneurship based on what you just said, and you're helping me and other leaders to see this in a different light. That there are young people out there trying to develop those skills, so that's really good information.
Absolutely.
Some of your thoughts in terms of what's out there that's been helpful, but also what could be done to help individuals. You're still a young entrepreneur now. You're not, you don't have the gray hairs that I got yet, but to help these young people as well, because you're a mentor to these young kids as well.
Yeah, so in high school, entrepreneurship is not the first thing you think of, because you're trying to think of getting into college, getting through your classes and stuff. And entrepreneurship and running your own company and stuff, it really didn't resonate with most people. They would say, why are you doing this? And I'd be like, why are you working at McDonald's right now? And it was interesting because I was hiring the older kids on my lacrosse team or whatever I was doing, and it's just not really natural to go into entrepreneurship, especially so young in high school. These guys are 19, they're both 15, and that's amazing. But something that really helped me was the teachers that I had in high school that really became mentors to me at Cumberland when I was there. And also being able to do independent studies, I kind of had to manipulate the classes to get the classes I needed out of the way, and then I could focus on the business as well, and also take classes that could help me with my business, even like web design or maybe even digital photo. And as I learned how to make good advertisements and stuff like that, I would have to just go online and just work through it. And I was able to leverage a lot of that, but it wasn't natural. And I think that something in Rhode Island that could be really helpful for youth entrepreneurs would be a program. It could be through the government, it could be through the schools that would actually help entrepreneurs. The Met has an awesome program I'm learning, and I wish I had that. That sounds amazing, but there's not that many people that even can comprehend that they can do this in high school and at this young age, because it's just not natural for us.
Yeah, and I think that it's this opportunity to tell your stories is going to resonate as we talked to Sam earlier. When there's a need, we got to fill that need. Mm-hmm. I know when I was a mayor, we opened up before you were in high school the drop zone, and I looked at that as being that entrepreneurial piece because it was a student-driven, adult-supervised youth center. And inside of that, we had a board of high school students. Chris Farrell actually was our first manager. Now he's got his law degree. He's practicing in Connecticut right now. And he was a young kid who was not thought of really highly in the high school setting, and yet he had all these great ambitions, and no one was really giving the willing a chance. But I said, "Oh, you'll be the manager of that." And they ran that business. They were doing about $8,000 a month of revenue out of that by sponsoring dances, doing coin-operated games, running different programs for young kids. And that ended. But I want you to think about this very carefully before you talk about it. So I'll go back to you. But I'm not. Politics got in the way a little bit. And I think that one of the obstacles that we have for young kids is that we don't think of teenagers as being, someone that we're really going to invest a lot of time in, right? It's like, oh my God, they can bring a lot of problems to the table. We got to be careful here.
But why wouldn't you invest in the future?
You would invest in the future, and that's what I was asking as I was pulling my hair out, and I'm saying, we have a board here. We have young kids that didn't have, maybe weren't traditionally hooked in to some of the networks that high school, is involved. And here they were running a budget. They were strategizing how to actually earn the next dollar in, because in my town, we were to do that. In Cumberland, I was told by our town council that we had to pay rent. And that's where the Haunted Hill came in. We were raising money through the kids, and they were doing the work. And they were we were paying $2,300 a month in rent. There's nobody paying rent. So I'll let you weigh in on that at the end, but there is this notion that somehow we at least my experience has been, boy, we can't really get involved really to that degree with young kids because of the problems that that may be coming. Which you put 100 people in the room, and I don't care what you got you got some issues. But yes, that closed down over politics, and that was a shame. Sam, tell us a little bit about what could be helpful for you in terms of, and others that are in your age group to move on a business and to and get it started.
Well, I think what's very helpful is knowing people. That's the biggest thing that's helped me. I think meeting with people and telling them, here's what my business is, here's what we need to do, and I think that really helped me.
Yes.
And like with my stores, I go in, tell them, here's what has to be done, and if you're interested, great.
Well, even maybe as Chris is talking about entrepreneurship, there's sales issues that to go in, and there's training that can be done for sales, and young people can be trained in terms of how, what is a good sales practice. You want to make sure that you deliver the message, and it's you don't overpromise, right? And then you got to deliver on what you say, but there's good training on that,
And everything's sales too.
Yes.
It's 100%. It's not only business, but you're selling yourself when you're trying to apply for a job, or when you're trying to get into a class, or when you're even trying to get a better grade on a test. Like, you're always selling 24/7, and nobody teaches that. And it's something that has to be self-taught, but with a little guidance, I think it can go a long way.
Yeah, jump in a little bit here. I got another minute before I wrap it up for 30 seconds here. But is there something else that is on your mind that we haven't really talked about that would be, that the public should hear? We got young kids who are interested in business. That excites me.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I think what he said, it's who you know. That's like 100% correct, because the network you build, and especially like these guys just met each other, but now they're probably going to work off each other's vibe, and they're going to really influence each other and encourage each other, because that network that builds really pushes you forward and pushes you to success.
So you guys, if we do a 39 community tour of high school entrepreneurs, are you in? You're going to help me figure out how to make that happen? I'm sure there's an entrepreneur in every community in the state of Rhode Island. Thank you so much for being here, each and every one of you. You told a wonderful story the public needs to hear. The residents can be very proud. We've got high school entrepreneurs in the state of Rhode Island that are working to create a great state that we live in, and part of that is the economy that our businesses open up. You are going to be responsible for our economy, and we need to make sure that we support the small businesses. So our office continues to be out there trying to find ways, trying to find things. Next year we're going to do a legislative agenda, and we're going to try to figure out how to help small business. We're going to put the high school entrepreneurs agenda right in that mix. So thank you for being here. Advance Rhode Island. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this show. I did.